How's it going, people? I've got a couple of things to get through in this video. Firstly, my apologies for not replying to any comments or private messages or anything for the last week. I've been swapping internet providers and they said it was going to go really clearly and smoothly and cleanly, but I've been without internet for a week. It's finally got sorted out today. I got home from work and it's all up and running, so I'll get onto all those comments and reply to all of them this evening, so my apologies again for that. Secondly, my apologies for, I've had a couple of comments from people saying they can't really hear me that well. Well, I haven't got a microphone input on my camera, and the mic obviously isn't up to scratch, so there's not really much I can do about that. I'm going to take the soundtrack, the sound from the video, see if I can take that into Logic Audio and see if I can boost the levels in there, because I'm doing it through iMovie editing software, and I'm maxing it out in there and I can't get it any louder. So I'm going to see if I can take it into Logic and boost it up in there, and if I can't, it's my apologies. I'm doing my best to speak up as much as possible without sounding like I'm shouting at the camera. So yeah, apologies out the way. I'm sorry. But on to happier notes. Happier notes being, I got the second Raider finished. The first one on Gear Bastion sold, so I'm really grateful to the fella who's bought it. It's in the post today, so everything went out today. So everyone who's ordered something, it's on the way. Steve, yours, I'm going to send you a PM later with a couple of questions about yours. Chuck, also I'm going to send you a PM a bit later on as well. But the second Raider is finished. Here it is. I've got a large tech lock on it. I showed it a bit previous, but I've cleaned it up since then. I said there was a problem where the scales were proud, but I've sorted that out, so you can see it's Jade G10 with red liners. Let's see if we can get some better light. There you go. JT G10, better liners, little lanyard, and it just pops off. And then this is it. I found that where the shape of my scales is like this, where the Kydex bites around it for the retention, it tends to leave black smears on the jade, which isn't a problem because they rub straight back off. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. But maybe that'll just wear in over time and it'll stop doing it. But this is my first attempt at stonewash. Let's see if I can get some better light. There we go. First attempt at stonewash, come out really dark and looks great. I'm really happy with it. The bevel I've put on this thing is tiny. When you can see it there, it is absolutely tiny, mirror polished bevel. Really happy. It's got my shape into the handles, as you can see, scalloped out where the ring finger and the little finger go, slight indent where the middle finger goes, and indent where the first finger goes. And this one is so comfortable. I'm really happy with this. I think I'm going to keep it because, like I said before, there's a couple of very minor things I'm not 100% happy about, and more to the point, since I've actually started out as Knee Deep Knives following from Black Fox Sharps, I haven't actually kept a knife for myself whatsoever, bar, that's a lie actually, the first prototype Assailant that the engraver bodged up the job on, that was the first knife I kept. So this is the second one, but this is one that I'm happy with, that I would happily keep. I really like it. So in regards to sharp, I've had this done a few days now, and I've used it a bit. There's no marks on the stonewash or anything, but I haven't stropped it or anything. And this is real thin catalogue paper. it's like it's not even there. Right, I'm going to see if I can do it. It's just Rizla, green Rizla, strop block. Let's just give this a couple of strops. Right, let's see how this goes. Right, first I'll try the gum side, which has got a bit more structure, I guess. There you go. Right, now I'll try the plain side. There we go. Cuts Rizla. Really happy with this edge. It is disgustingly sharp. I ran out of arm hair on my left arm, so I've just had my knee across my lap, my leg across my lap folded up, and I just swiped it across the hairs, and without even putting pressure on my leg, it just shaved a landing strip about 3 inches long across my leg. So yeah, really happy with this. Really happy with the sheath. Dell gave me a couple of pointers for, which I'm going to pass on actually, because it was a great pointer for the taco style sheaths, and I'm not going to take credit for this. Like I said, Dell helped me out with this. When you put it in the Kydex press, so you put obviously your foams in, you lay the Kydex down, put the knife in, fold the Kydex over the top, so it's like this. Once the press comes down on the top, you put some pressure on and push the handle of that knife, slide it across so it's biting into the top of the crease. And first time here, you can tell it didn't bunch up. I mean, here, this is where obviously it flares out, and it's a negative angle blade, so it obviously drops down and the spine carries on straight. I could obviously pull it and tilt it that way, but then this gap has now become larger. So, but a million % happy with the way that that's come out. Just pops off. Retention, tiniest bit of wiggle, but that was 2 layers of duct tape because I didn't want it to start scratching the acid stonewash, because these scales are epoxied on and I wouldn't be able to re-stonewash it should it have scratched. Big thank you goes out to Andy from Doberman Knives about giving me some heads up on some gum glue, and Kylie Harris gave me a couple of hints and tips about working scales that are going to be fixed in the long run, but working them temporarily with some threaded rod and nuts, and great ideas, and I'll send you PMs later to thank you both about that. Moving on from the Raider, I have got myself a big lump of 01. It's 4mm thick, which I always use, 500mm long. I used a new supplier, which I found was just around the corner from me, rather than getting it from Sheffield. I think it comes from Sheffield, but then is distributed by someone that's literally within 5 miles of me. So I ordered 2 pieces of 4mm by 500mm by 60mm, which is big enough to do my Salents, it's big enough to do my Raiders because of all of the index finger guards. This measurement here is usually about 60mm. So a 60mm piece is plain big enough, but they sent me a 75 with a message saying we didn't have any 60 in stock, so here, have that, which is just fantastic. You know, anyone else I would have expected, you know, we haven't got any in stock, we'll let you know when we have, or ring you up and say we haven't got it in stock, what else would you like instead, is there anything else we can get you? But they just sent me a bigger piece because I chatted to them on the phone. I said I'd be a regular customer, and I think they just thought look after him, so I'm really grateful about that. What else? Yeah, so I got 2 pieces, got 1 piece left, one big project that I'm probably not going to do at the moment because the way I heat treat, it's going to be too big for my heat treat process. I can either send it out to someone and pay a lot of money, or I can just save this project. I really want to get on with it because it's going to be pretty awesome, I think. But I'm going to leave it for the moment. So I've got to do a knife for my brother-in-law for his birthday. So that's going to come out of here, and then I've got enough for either another assailant, another raider, a sagittal, or an adversary, which is the big, let me see if I can find the template up here, 1 second. So we've got the sagittal, like I did for Thomas Thorn. We've got the assailant. We've got the raider, which you know because I've just shown the finished one, or the adversary, which is this big Wharncliffe. I think I might be doing one of these. The one I've done for Braden is very similar to this, but slightly more cut off. I think it's about that long rather than this full point, just slightly modified. The handle hasn't got so much of a negative angle either. So yeah, let me know what one you should think I should do, or whether you think I should just do a random. Hangnails are on the go, orders are cracking on. So with the first piece of O1, I'm doing a Scott for knife, a knife for Scott. I know Thomas Thorn's doing a friction folder for him as well, but he asked me for an assailant, so this is the cut out blank. I've skeletonized the handle to try and drop the weight, because obviously the grind's not done yet, so you're going to lose a lot of weight from that, but it's sitting there at the moment, which is pretty much the ricasso. So once I lose a lot of weight from here, from the bevel, and the handles go on, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be round about here, just past the finger choil, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a chopper, it's not like you're going to be using it a lot. It's really comfortable in your hand anyway with this negative angle shape. But yeah, that's, you know, I've got to just put the bevel on that and get ready for the heat treat. And then I've got this thing. I haven't got a name for it yet. It's the biggest knife I think I've done to date, and I'm really looking forward to testing this once it's done. But that's it. The whole thing has got a curve from up here at the base, from the top to this point is one continuous curve. So it's pretty mad looking. Extended long handle, so you can hold it in the first position, but you can also come back and put your finger in this choil here, and it's got enough if you did want to do some chopping with it. It's 4mm as per usual. Skeletonized handle as well, because this is going to be blade heavy no matter what I do. I mean, at the moment it's sitting right about there, so there's not much I can do about that, but it'll probably aid in the chopping, being all the weight forward. So that's those two, and because it was 75mm, not 60mm, which I wasn't accounting for, I actually had some space on the steel and a sliver that I just felt it was too small to do any hangnails with, and I just didn't want to waste it. And this is so unlike me. For the last few months since KDK started, I've started out with the finger guard hole, which I love, and I'm going to stick with that because, you know, it's kind of what I'm doing now and I really like it. But I just did this because I didn't want to waste the steel, and I don't know what I'll do with it. I might keep it, I might just put it up on Gear Bastion, I don't know what I'll do with it, but I think it's pretty cool. A little Tanto with a curved handle, really comfortable. It's got a full four finger grip, and with this curve here it really accommodates the back of your hand very nicely. So yeah, I think I'm going to do full flat on this, and it's going to have a real nice taper because it just gets thinner and thinner towards the end, so this is going to taper really nice into a nice decent point. so I might just keep it as a workshop knife. I don't know, we'll see how it comes out, and I'll decide later on in the point. I'm not going to do a lanyard on it, I'm going to just have it with 2 6mm acrylic pins. So that's that. I'm starting to go along the lines of removable scales. I talked to Scott about it, and he said it's up to me whether I do it on his knife. I've decided to go with it. Partly, you know, I've done this one. You can see I've got a 10mm hole here, 10mm hole here, and there's one here, but that's just to lose weight. But, and on here as well, 10mm here, 10mm here, and I'm going to make them removable, so it kind of aids in my whole stonewashing process if I want to get on with and keep doing that, because I'm really happy with the way it comes out. Really like it. Just looks great and aids in the corrosion resistance as well, which is fantastic being 01. So rather than buying pivots or acorn bolts or Corby bolts or you know, not Corby bolts, but any kind of way of removable scales, I tried, because they're so expensive. I know for the USA it's not so bad, but over here to try and buy them, for one, it's something ridiculous, like £2 just for one pivot. So I got some rose joints, which are just a threaded tube, and they come at 20mm standard. So I've cut them down to 10mm, and and they're M6 thread, and I've got 2 M6 button Allen key screws, like that. So I'm going to try this out and see how I get on with it. It's obviously going to take a bit of tinkering here and there and a bit of working out, but I'm pretty happy with the way that's come out, because I've cut down the rose joint threaded tube, and I've obviously got a set of 2, 10mm each, so that accounts for 1 set of scales. And I think these 2 materials have cost me, let me think, cost me about £1.50 for those 2, rather than paying £2 for just one plus the P&P. But all in all, that's cost me £1.50 to do, so that's great. I got myself some new ceramic belts. Got some 120s and some 40 grits. I've not tried these ones before. I had some SAIT ones before, SAIT, made in Italy, but these are Saitex. I mean, the 120 grit are SAIT, but these ceramics that I've got, this 40 grit, are Saitex, and like that, and they're blue, and I haven't seen the blue ones before. They feel pretty aggressive, but I don't really know what the difference is. I had the kind of maroony brown SAIT ceramics before, so I'll be interested to see what the difference is between the blue and the reddish colour. So yeah, fingers crossed that'll be good. I've also got some let me think, I've drawn totally blank on the name, Trizac belts, which I've been using a little bit on some hangnails. So that's just come straight off the 36, which I think is the equivalent of about 800 grit. And that's ready to acid stone wash or buff, and that is the question I'm going to put to Steve and Chuck, whether you want yours acid stone washed or you want it just buffed. So yeah, apart from that, I think that is pretty much the whole update. One more last thing before I go. I know it's a 20-minute video and I apologise for that, but I just want to show you where I'm working out of, because it's such a small space, but I'm really happy with my little setup at the moment. So I'm going to just put these belts back quick, 1 second. Alright, so this is it. This is where KDK knives are born. I've got my Fatmax rolling workshop which I had from my old job, full of spare odds and bods of tools. You've got my battered looking 1x30. All my belts are kept on pegs there. You've got all my heavy abrasives and then all the finer ones. Up here you've got all my buffing stuff, some empty pots, scales, my hole cutter, epoxy and micro mesh. You've got my kitchen roll which I wouldn't be without. Up here you got my buffer which I get down and clamp it to the table, my Kydex press, my micarta press, some boxes with my micarta material and odds sods. Got my drill press which I use as a stand for my camera on the tripod. And then up here you just got all my bits and pieces, clamps, grinding wheels, templates, small tools, bits and pieces, all my files, and that box in there's actually got my frog lube in it. And down under here, let's see if I can put a light on. There you go. Down under here I've got a box with like hand drill, heat gun, angle grinder, jigsaw. That's my bottle for my stone washing. I've got big bottle of fiberglass resin, big bottle of acetone from my girlfriend because she works in a lab. And then in here I've got all my handle materials and odd bits of Kydex and things like that. And then my bin of doom. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So as you come into my garage, as you can see, I'm working from one bench which is about 1500 wide by about 900 deep, and everything is done with here, and of course my apron which I wouldn't be without, and there is a respirator and goggles there, so it is important. Gloves are in the box as well, and obviously I've got my radio for tunes and my little toaster oven with the foam on top. So that is pretty much it for today. Just want to say thank you again to everyone, and once again sorry for not getting in touch sooner, but like I said before, internet's been a bit of an issue. So this is going to take an absolute age to upload, but never mind, I just thought I'd get it all done in one video rather than uploading a few. So if you've stuck around to the end, I really appreciate it. I hope you've had a cup of tea during the meantime, or a cigarette, or whatever you do to pass time, because I know it's been long. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone, especially all my new subscribers, and I hope everyone's doing well and that you have a fantastic weekend. I'll try and get another video up if I do any more progress, and I'll catch you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.